I have a promise for you, my friend. I have 3 quick concepts that will change your life if you'll let it. Hi, I'm Gina. Welcome to my channel, Hope and Cope, where we talk about how to have our best life according to God's will in spite of the painful and tragic choices of those that we love. I assure you that these 3 C's will make a powerful impact in your life. They come from Al-Anon, where I was a part of a group for about 8 years. The first of the 3 C's says, we did not cause it. So when our loved ones fall into addiction, so many times we blame ourselves. And this first of the C's just says that we didn't cause it. We might want to think we did, and we might feel like we had a role to play. And if we had a role to play, then certainly we want to correct any errors in our behavior so that we don't encourage someone in their addiction. That would be enabling, which we've talked about in prior videos and we'll talk about again, I'm sure. But, you know, we give ourselves too much credit that we can be the cause of something. So we just don't have that much power. And we do have to just recognize that we have to put the ownership back on the addict and realize that at some point they have to make the choices for themselves. So if they are in addiction, then as much as we may have had a role that we can receive and recognize and apologize for and try to correct, it's not our fault. Okay, so you didn't cause it. So as I stated, we don't really have the power to cause something. We also don't have the power to cure something. So this is the second of the C's. We didn't cause it and we can't cure it. Don't we wish that there was a magic potion or a certain formula that we could just bestow upon our loved ones and help them to be free? But again, we just don't have that kind of power. I remember when I first started coming to Al-Anon, I thought it was going to be some kind of 12 steps to teach me how to teach my loved one not to drink. And that's just not what that is. It is the 12 steps of Al-Anon is to teach us how to have, how to cope with someone else's alcoholism. And it's full of great life skills for all kinds of situations. I've mentioned Al-Anon in many of my videos in the past, and I recommend that you look that up. If you would like to have a group of support in your local area, you can find a group and go to Al-Anon meetings, and they'll teach you a whole lot about how to manage your life in spite of someone else's drinking. So just because we can't cure it doesn't mean that person has to embark upon their recovery on their own. Quite the contrary, there are 12-step programs out there, there are rehabs out there, and we as family members and loved ones can certainly support our addict. Again, like staying clear of enabling and doing right things that encourage them to have a sober life. But again, we can't cure it. Okay, here we are at the final C. The last one is we can't control someone else's addiction. So when I first heard of these 3 C's, we didn't cause it, we can't cure it, and we can't control it. Literally, that third C, we can't control it, was just life-changing for me, because in my circle, honestly, at that time, my husband was the first person that I knew in any close proximity that had an addiction. So my friends and family didn't really know much about it, and neither did I. And so I had people that just told me what to do and told me to make him and told me to stop it and told me to tell him he better stop it and told me to control him. And so I really tried. I thought that was my job. I thought that was what I needed to do. I needed to manage him. I needed to talk to him and make him make promises. And I needed to make promises, and I needed to, check his car and check his money and check everything. You know, I needed him to be calling me. So I was really working hard to control him so that he wouldn't drink. And so my analogy is that it was like trying to push a huge boulder up a big hill. And I was being crushed by the weight of this, but I thought it was my job. I thought if I loved my husband and wanted to protect my family, this was my duty. And so when I learned that I didn't cause it, I couldn't cure it, but most of all, I couldn't control it. It let me let the boulder go. It let me release the responsibility of him being well to him, and to learn that I had to focus on the things that I could control. And that was me and my choices, my mental health, my decisions. Those were the things that I could control. And so I got busy working on the things that I could control that really mattered and that were going to be helpful to the family situation. So what is it that you can control? So let's talk about that for just a minute. You can control your schedule to a huge extent. Make a schedule first, and then try to stick to it. We can control whether we go to work or not. We can control our diet and some good food and exercise. Try to get to bed on time. Try to have a regular sleeping schedule. We can control our priorities. If you like to read, continue to read. If you have hobbies, continue to have hobbies. If you are committed and going to a church, a fellowship, continue to do those things. Stay involved with your friends. Make plans with your family and your friends, and then stick to them. These are the things we can control. These are positive things in our life. Being dedicated to our job so that we don't lose our job because our loved one's life is out of control. These are all things that are within our manageability. And it doesn't mean it will be easy. It just means that we need to take our eyes off of what we cannot manage and we cannot control, and that's another human being, and put it on what we can control. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, the 3 C's is a concept from Al-Anon, and I have another great video that I spoke in depth about my experience with Al-Anon, and I will link that. Please check that out. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this was helpful. I have added scripture and a Christian song in the description box for extra encouragement to you. Also, my email address is there if you would like to contact me. And until next time, I'm praying for you and I love you. Bye-bye.